Creating VPC is one of the important aspects if you are working with AWS Cloud. If you are watching this video, hopefully you know how to create VPC in the AWS console level. Hey guys, welcome back to Valaxy Technologies. My name is Ravi Shankar. In this video, we are going to see how to create VPC using Terraform. And this is a continuation of our previous video. In the previous video, we have created an EC2 instance in the default VPC. Let me quickly show you the manifest file which we have created in our previous lecture. So this is the ec2.tf file which we have created. We have provided the provider block as well as resource block. As part of resource block, we are creating an EC2 instance, and this is the AMI, and this AMI is a Amazon Linux AMI, and it is part of AP South 1. And we have used key pair, and we created a T2 micro. But it will be get created in the default VPC, but I would like to create a VPC along with the EC2 instance. If you wish to do, you need to create below resources. So to create an VPC, we need to create these resources. So the resources are, first one is VPC. We are going to use 10.10 series for the VPC CIDR. Then subnet, as we are launching only one subnet, that is going to be a public subnet. Then internet gateway, to give internet access to our instance. Of course, we need to create an internet gateway. Then route table along with the route table association. Then security group. At last, an EC2 instance. These are the resources we are going to create as part of our VPC manifest file. So to create a VPC, of course, we need a provider, nothing change over here. And resource, anyway, we need to create an EC2 instance as well. So let it be like this. We'll modify once we have created the VPC. And I am going to rename this file as VPC with EC2. So we are creating VPC with EC2, and as part of this one, first thing is we need to create a VPC, right? Let's go and check the syntax, how we can create VPC in Terraform. Go back here, VPC Resource for Terraform, and you can see AWS VPC. Let me open this one, and example usage, you can create a simple VPC by using this one. Okay, even you can give the tags and the tenancy. However, this would be sufficient. Let me copy this one over here. You can see here the resource type is AWS VPC, and resource name, I mean to say VPC name, is main. Let me change it to demo VPC, and CIDR it is giving 10.0, but we are going to use 10.10. Okay, so I can say that this will help us to create a VPC. Next thing is we need to create a subnet. So let me give the comments as well. Create VPC. Next thing, create subnet. Next, let's go and search for subnet resource. So subnet resource for Terraform. So let's open this one. You can see here AWS subnet. This is what you need to use, and example usage. So resource, that is AWS subnet, is the resource name. Main is the value, I mean to say label. And you can see here VPC ID. So this is the VPC ID under which VPC you should create this subnet. And CIDR also we need to specify, and a tag, what is the name of this resource. So let me copy this snippet, copy it, and go here and copy. And I'm going to name it as a demo subnet. And VPC ID, so you are going to take it from here. So how to define this VPC ID? It is quite simple. Usually to define a VPC ID, it is the resource type dot resource name. So let me copy this. Okay, and remove double quotes and give dot over here and ends with the ID. Okay, this is how you can define the VPC ID. Now what does it do? Whenever it requires the VPC ID under which VPC ID it should create a subnet, it go to the AWS VPC.demo VPC. This is the one, and ID, because this is a dynamic value, right? Means once we have created VPC, then only we need to create subnet. So as part of the script, we are just creating a VPC. So we don't know the name of VPC at this moment. So this is kind of a defining a dynamic variable in our Terraform script. Next thing is CIDR block. We are using 10 series, right? So it should be 10 series. And even I can name it as a demo subnet. Okay. Now we have created subnet. Next thing is create internet gateway. So let's go and search for that resource. One quick announcement from Valaxy Technologies. We have changed our website from valaxy.in to valaxytech.com, but valaxy.in also works. And also we are giving live trainings. So you can opt for DevOps practitioner training, Azure DevOps, Python, data science, DevOps real-time project, interview preparation, cyber security, shell scripting. So these courses you can opt for the live trainings. If you are interested, you can connect it over here with the talk with our expert. Our team will help you with all the live trainings. Thank you. Let's jump back to our discussion. Internet Gateway Resource. You can see AWS Internet Gateway. And this is the example usage. Resource type is AWS Internet Gateway and name is GW they have given. But let me copy it and we'll change it according to our naming convention. So AWS Internet Gateway and let me give demo IGW. Okay. And even here also demo IGW and VPC ID, because we are attaching this one to the VPC. So we should know the VPC ID. So it is same. Again, I can either copy it from here or else I have already did it, that this is how I can retrieve the VPC ID dynamically. So I just replace it. Okay. Next thing, we need to create route table. Let's go and search for the route table resource for Terraform. So resource type is AWS resource table. So let me grab the example. Yep, you can see here resource AWS resource table is the resource type and this is the name, and it is giving the route, nothing but from where you can accept the traffic. So from this you can accept the traffic into the internet gateway, and this is another route for the IPv6. Anyway, we are not using IPv6, we can ignore it. Let me copy this, and so we are just removing IPv6, we don't need, and we want to accept traffic from anywhere. Okay, that's the reason I can give internet IP range, and the next thing I'm going to name it as a demo route table RT I'm going to give. Then VPC ID, again same VPC ID I can use it. And the next thing, internet gateway ID. So you should replace this one with the internet gateway ID. So let's grab that as well. Go up. So this is the resource type and this is the resource name. Let me copy this and just replace this one. Anyway, at the end we need ID. So remove it. And in between, again, you need to specify a dot and delete it. That's it. Now I can say that internet gateway also created, and I'm going to name it as a demo route table. Sorry, this is a route table. Now we need to create subnet association as well. Okay, next thing is subnet association. So we need to add our subnet to the route table. For that, let's go here and search for subnet association, and let me open this. And here you can find AWS route table association. You can see the example. Okay, so we can copy any one and go here and copy it, and AWS route table association, I will name it as a demo route table association. Okay, just I'm giving demo route table association as the resource name, and this is resource type. Next thing, we need to give the subnet which should be associated in this. So let's go and get the subnet. So we have created subnet over here. This is the subnet with the subnet type and resource type and resource name. So we just need to replace this one and ends with ID. Okay, similar way we need to give the route table as well. So we have created route table just now, right? Okay, let's copy till here and just replace it and add dot over here. That's it. I can say that we have created required resources. At last we need to create a security group. So let's go back and create a security group resource for Terraform, and this is the AWS security group. And you can see here example usage. you need to create a resource, and the resource type is AWS security group and resource name, and this is the name of security group, and description and VPC ID. We should give the VPC where you need to create this security group, and ingress nothing but inbound rules. So usually we need SSH and other application ports. Okay, we'll change this one. Egress nothing but outbound rules. Okay, we will modify this one because egress we don't need to change, but ingress we need to change it. So let's copy over here, and just I'm going to change this one as a demo SG or demo VPC SG. I will name it, and same thing I'm going to give it over here, and VPC ID, this is the same as above, AWS VPC, and our VPC name is demo VPC.id. So just replace it, and description, it is optional. Again, this is also, I'm just removing it, and I forgot to add comments. Okay, create a security group. Next thing is we need port 20. So to port also 20, it is TCP. So next CIDR block, it should be from anywhere. So 0.0.0.0/0, and even this one, this is the IPv6 CIDR block. We can copy this one. Okay, now I can say that, sorry, it is 22, right? Now I can say that we have created a security group. At last, we need to create an EC2 instance that is already defined. Okay, so this is the EC2 instance, right? Even though you mention in any sequence, Terraform can understand which resource should create when. Okay, so no worry about that one. So AMI, there is no change. Key pair, no change. Instance type, no change. But we need to give the VPC for the EC2 instance, right? So VPC nothing but this is the VPC ID. Okay, so this is the VPC ID. But we don't need to mention the VPC ID in this EC2 instance. Okay, you just need to tell that under which subnet you should create it, and also what is the security group it should use. Let's grab that one. So let's search for EC2 resource for Terraform, and you can see here AWS instance. We already knew about this one. Last time we have used it. Example usage, you can see here basic example using AMI lookup, which will help us to dynamically take the AMI. But we are using the hard-coded AMI, that's okay. But if you want to use dynamic one, then you should use data sources. It is again altogether a different discussion. So in our case now we are looking for the how we can define the subnet and security group. For that you can go with the argument references, and here you can search for subnet. Okay, so this is to create a VPC, but we are not using this. And if you go here, yep, you can see here subnet ID, it is optional, defines the VPC subnet ID to launch in. So in which VPC it should launch, it will decide. Okay, now let's go and define our subnet ID. So for that, subnet ID and value, you can see here it is automatically propagated. Now you can give the subnet ID. This is the subnet, right? AWS subnet. We have given name as a demo subnet. You can click over here and .id. Okay. So this is how you can define. Or else another way is you can just go here and grab the subnet ID. So this is the subnet ID. Okay. You just replace this one and create dot over here and .id. Okay. This is also give same. Because it identified, we have given subnet ID, so it identified that resource even though you just type AWS subnet. Okay, so AWS subnet ID.id. All right, next thing is we need to define the security group, under which security group we should create. For that also, let's go and search for security group. You can see here to define a security group you should use the argument called VPC security group IDs. Okay, but anyway you should provide this one as a list. You can see here list. So even that one also you can define VPC, and it is propagating because we have installed a plugins related to the Terraform over here. Okay, that's the reason. But anyway, let's go back over here and VPC, let me remove it, and VPC security group IDs, and you should provide it as a string, nothing but you should provide it over here. And let me get the VPC ID, or else you just remove it. Okay, and you look for the, and you just go and grab it over here. So security group, AWS security group ID. Okay, demo VPC SG. This is the one. So just copy it over here, AWS security group dot ID dot id. Okay, so this is how you can define. Now I can say that my file is looks good, and you can see here it is showing somewhere some error. Okay, here it is specifying. Yep, so we need to specify this in the double quotes, CIDR range. That is the error. Now there is no errors. Let me save this file, and let's execute the Terraform init. Okay, it looks good. And in case, let's show you, even if you delete it and if you run the Terraform validate, okay, it clearly show you an error that okay, there is some issue. Let's see. Okay, we didn't save this file. Let me save this, and you can see there is an error. Now let me run it, and you can see here it is saying that there is a error in the CIDR range. Okay, so you don't forget to save the file each time whenever you do updates. Now again, if I run it, it shows that our manifest file looks good. Next thing, Terraform plan. We are checking what and all resources it creates. You can see here it is going to create 7 resources. What and all resources it is going to create? Let me go up. You can see here it is going to create a demo server. The next thing is demo IGW. It is going to create demo route table association. Okay, demo VPCSG and VPC as well. So all the resources, subnets, VPC. Okay, all these resources are going to get created. Now to create it, let's apply the Terraform apply command. And we can give yes in the command line itself, that is -- auto approve. If you give, it is going to create resource. Before that, let me show you my AWS console, and here there is no running instances, or else let me remove it. And you can see here there are 3 systems, that is Ansible, Jenkins, master and slave. Apart from these, we should get one demo server. Also, if you see VPCs, we have 2 VPCs, RTP03 VPC, but we should get the demo VPC. Let's execute this one. So it's creating the resources. Let's go here and let me refresh it. You can see here it's created a new VPC, that is range of 10.10. Okay, that is the series, and it is not default VPC. Okay, so along with VPC, it also creates the subnets in our VPC. So subnet not yet created, and even you can just look after for the resources of your VPC by checking over here. This is default one. This is which we just created. You can see here demo subnet, and route table also you can see demo route table has been created, and the internet gateway. So demo IGW has been created. Next thing, if I go to instances, okay, if everything is created, it should create the resource. Let's go here. Okay, it is showing some error that unsupported. Your required instance type T2 micro is not supported in your registered availability zone AP South 1C. Please try to request not specifying the availability zone or choose the AP South 1A or 1B. Okay, I didn't request on AP South. Okay, availability zone I didn't request. It took the AP South one. Let me add the availability zone as well. Availability zone equal to AP South 1A. Okay, so this is the one I'm giving. You should mention it in the double quotes. Okay, now let's try to execute it, because whatever is created, it will be recorded in your TF state file. So whatever resources is yet to create, those resources it is going to create. Okay, because it stopped while creating an EC2 instance, so it is going to create only EC2 instance. You can see here one resource it is getting added. So AP South 1A, it is saying that our subnet has been created under AP South 1C region. So in 1C region, T2 micro is not supported. So let me go with the T2 small, okay, for this example, and let me change it to the 1C and save this file, and let's execute it once again, or else we can go with the Terraform plan. and it should create only one resource. Yeah, and Terraform apply. Okay, this is also not supported. Crazy thing. Let's do one thing. Let's recreate the subnet in the other availability zone. For that, you just remove this. Okay, and go to subnet and specify the availability zone AP, sorry, double quotes, AP South 1A. Okay, so we are creating the subnet in AP South 1A. Now let's try to run Terraform plan. So you can see here it is destroying 2 resources and adding 3 resources. So what and all it is destroying? Subnet as well as subnet association. Okay, so let's execute it. Terraform plan auto approve, and I think we are creating T2 small instance. That's okay. Okay, it has been completed. Let's go and check it out in our console. Let me refresh it. Yes, you can see here running EC2 instance, and if you see the timestamp, it's just created 7th 20. That is the time at this moment. Okay, now we can connect to this system. Let me refresh it and take the public IP once it is up. And taking the public IP, even that also you can display over here by using the output resource block. Okay, that is again a different discussion. Maybe this one, right? We are not getting the public IP because we miss it to allocate the public IP. That you can do in the subnet level as well. So if you go to the, this is security group, right? Subnet, yeah. Here there will be a public IP. So if you see here, map public IP on launch optional, specify true to indicate the instance launch into the subnet should be assigned a public IP address. Okay, so this option if we give, then you will get a public IP. We haven't specified it over here. That's the reason you don't see a public IP over here. Anyway, you can try it out as an assignment and you let me know the comments, okay, whether this option is worked for you or not. So far, we have created a Terraform manifest file to create a VPC and EC2, right? I will show you one simple method how you can able to achieve the same thing in easy way. That is where ChatGPT comes into the picture. So let's open the ChatGPT. So chat.openai. You can start a new chart. So let me type that Terraform manifest file to create VPC along with EC2 instance. Okay, this is the request I can do, and you can see what miracle can do by a ChatGPT. So we have given the provider block, we have given the resource, that is VPC, and we have given the subnet block. So next we have given the security group as well, and you can see here it is opening port number 22, and this is where we had done the mistake. And the next thing, AWS instance type, and this is VPC security groups. It is adding security groups and tags. And does it added subnet? It is also not launching the public IP over here, but that's okay. You can see here how simple it is to get the same code with help of ChatGPT. So better you can use the ChatGPT as your assistant or helper. Okay, that's all for this video. If you want to see how to launch a Kubernetes cluster by using Terraform, please let me know in the comments of this video. According to that, I will prepare my next video. If many people are not interested for the topic, I can skip that. That's all for this video. Thank you so much and see you in the next interesting video.